Hey, we're here at Eureka Natural in an undisclosed location on the North Coast. And this is Michael Craighead?
Mike Craighead, yes.
Mike Craighead, and he is a pumpkin carver. He's pumping out the pumpkin carvings, and that is obviously a hag.
Sure. It's there's some kind of skin condition. I don't know specifically what's going on, but they ought to have it looked at.
And you're looking at it right now, right? You're the technician.
Sure.
You're a pumpkin technician.
I caused the disease, though, so I don't
Okay,
know.
so I'm going to ask you some questions about this art because it's a very unique art, and I know there's other people who have done it in the past. But and they all start with the letter W. Why do you do this?
Very good question. Because it's there. Same reason people climb mountains. No, I don't know. It's I've worked to get faster and better at it, and it's fun. And I tend to use pumpkins that other people don't use, and it's just a real fun way to squander an afternoon. Yeah, I think folks appreciate pumpkins more as a medium than a lot of other ones like wood carving, marble, any other sculptural material. People aren't really engaged with it because they haven't done it usually. But everyone's played with a pumpkin, so they can sort of have a sense of exactly how weird it is, and why would you spend this kind of time on something that's going to get mushy. But I think that ephemeral aspect of it is attractive to people, and folks seem more engaged with pumpkins than like a real medium.
Or more engaged with others, more of this squash family than any other squash family.
Could be, yeah.
And that's why. And what brought? Oh my gosh! It's a skeleton that's been hollowed out. Now I ask you why, and what other kind of materials have you carved in the past?
Well, certainly all kinds of different squash. Here's a banana slug squash. And this time of year, you can carve, butternut or a whole bunch of different things like that. I don't like watermelon; it's kind of gross and sticky. And I do sand sculpture as well. So I've done the local one here in Eureka, and one up in Washington, the sand sculpture events. And I'm only now, this many years old, starting to dabble in carving wood, things that last a little longer than pumpkins.
And that's the why and the what, and who inspired you to do this?
Well, there's certainly anybody who does this that you talk to will mention Ray Villafane. I had started in this medium definitely before I saw his stuff, but I think around, I want to say 2007, or whenever it was, when he kind of came out and became public with what he does, he's just the best at this. Just everyone would agree that he's the best at this. And when you do an internet search of 3D pumpkins or sculptural pumpkins, Ray Villafane is just the Elvis of it, or the whatever of it. He's the best. So he's certainly inspired. And then, but the nice thing is you're always competing with yourself. So I'm always just trying to get more efficient and faster. I was on a TV show where the clock was definitely a thing, and I came away from that show really wanting to be faster. In an event like this, it's more fun to be faster because there's more little stories, more little jokes to tell people, and in this case, there's more just plain more to look at. So it's more fun to be faster too. So that's been a definite goal. Like get better, get faster, and I try to do that every year, every season. I work toward that.
So why, what, and who? And my other question with WH is where do you find your most influence from besides the pumpkin?
Well, I definitely, influence on this other than pumpkins. I have a Pinterest board full of weird faces. So all during the year, I'm collecting, here's some monster from a movie, or here's some person with an interesting face that I saw in a show, and I'll find their picture and save it for pumpkin season. quite often I'll have a picture, that picture handy, and kind of stumble toward that picture and end up with something very different from that picture, but it ends up more realistic and interesting if you're stumbling towards something specifically. It never looks exactly like the picture. It's not supposed to.
Right. And so that's what, why, who, and when. Another question I could ask is, when is this art inappropriate and when is it appropriate?
I mean, I've been known to carve very realistic limbs and feed them to a jack-o'-lantern and add red food coloring. I did that yesterday, and it's super gross and scary. And ideally, if I can frighten a small child, I feel my work is done. So I mean, I definitely lean toward the gruesome, and I will scale that back if I'm hanging out with, if I'm doing a demo for a classroom or something. But yeah, it's I think everybody likes it, so it's kind of nice to.
And the last question I'm going to ask, which is a WH, is whatever you want to say.
Whatever I want to say.
Yeah.
Maybe. I just think this is a really accessible art form. All you need is these are mostly clay tools. This is a wood chisel. And you just get that. You find a pumpkin that's heavy for its size, because then it'll have a thicker rind and you'll have more to work with. And then you just practice, and it's you light these from the outside, not the inside, so they're going to last a couple weeks if you can keep the mold off them. Like a jack-o'-lantern's going to go away really fast, especially in this town. Yeah, I think it's. And I wrote a book on how to carve skulls in particular. This art form in general, how to carve like this, what tools to use and such. But then a skull is the only thing I really repeat a lot. So it really does step by step how to make a 3D skull, and then it's just a picture of different pumpkins. So it's like I think it's a worthwhile thing to squander your time on if you have the time to squander, because not very many people do it, because most people are smarter and know that you can carve something that doesn't go away so quickly. But yeah, I think it's fun.
It's a holiday thing.
That's right.
So this is Mike Craighead at an undisclosed location in Mickeyville, or what used to be called Cowtown a long time ago. That kind of gives it away, but we're up in Northern California, and this is Sean Powers doing another interview, and that's about it. I think we got it all covered. We're gonna ogle at this noggin, blue eyes, orange skin, yellow hues, and it's a masterpiece. Thank you so much.
Thank you. How's it going?
Hi, these are so cool.
Thank you. I always post all the carvings for every season, so there's plenty to see up there.